So, reading poor Horatio Sands, by the way. I want to see this chick, man. She's got to be fucking hot. Hanging out at SNL parties while she's 15, and then comes back for more and more and more, and then has cyber sex, whatever the fuck that is. Which is what? Texting? So stupid. What the fuck has the world come to? My heart goes out to Horatio, though. You know, it's like society has turned women on their head, and they have no idea what to do. It's so funny. I was watching this, reading this other. There's okay. Again, I just scroll through like. Facebook News is actually pretty good, but I do feel guilty about spending so much time on there because then Facebook gets more money for ads the more time you spend on Facebook. But I'm scrolling through there, and they're like, Addison Rae does something up bikini. I go, who the fuck is Addison Rae? And then I gotta Google her. And I'm like, I go down, I'm like, I can imagine what her resume is, you know? It's like, so what's your job experience? I'm cute. And your skills? I'm a singer and a dancer. I'm also cute. Did I mention that? That's it. But I was in searching to find out who the fuck she is. There's another girl, Charlie something, whatever. This is a 16-year-old girl. She's 17 now. And the whole controversy about this girl, because she's like the third top TikToker. And she said that she preferred, like, she has this really personal chef cooking for her. And then she says that she prefers dino nuggets, which is, you know, chicken nuggets shaped like dinosaurs. And mac and cheese than this, you know, gourmet meal. And it's like, and she ended up crying on some sort of Instagram live video about how people are saying mean things to her. And it's like, I mean, it's just like when a child celebrity, you know, ends up on drugs. It's a car crash waiting to happen. So it's your responsibility to step up and be a mature, capable adult, even if you're 15 or 16. That's the power of, you know, with great power comes great responsibility, you know, even if it's just 100 million TikTok fans that you know, want to see your boobs. The problems of women in our society in this day and age is hilarious. You know, all you have to do is think about women in the Holocaust, right? There you go. Think about that for a second, okay? And then compare it to the problems that we have today. It's crazy. That's one of the reasons why I don't take this serious. You guys are so fanatical about audio, and I'm like, it's not that big a deal, guys. But, you know, thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for watching my videos, you know. Somebody commented one time, they're like, I can't believe you said your people watching your video is stupid. And I said, if that's the only thing you took away, because the video is like, I think it was like 12 or 20 minutes long, whatever. There's a lot of information in the video. And I'm like, if that's the only thing that you took away, or that's the most important thing that you took away from the video, so much so that you're willing to comment about it, then yeah, I was talking to you. You're an idiot. So, but I think that's what you guys love. I think you guys love that I speak my mind. I try to say the truth, because for me, in this day and age, nobody says the truth. Nobody talks about what's really going on. And it is insane to me. Like, I have dropped acid on a time or two when I was a teenager. And so I know what it's like to trip, and I've tripped, and I don't like tripping. In fact, I took a half a Vicodin last night because my legs were on fire from doing car audio installs. I didn't even like that. I didn't even like the Vicodin. And I'm sure there's a ton of pill people out there. They're like, you don't like Vicodin? Like, yeah, you're right. I don't like weed. I don't like Vicodin. What my body really likes is alcohol. So, but I try to stay away from that because it's bad on the liver, right? And it also, you know, I watched my dad do some stupid shit on that shit. But I wanted to do a little bit of a technical video for you. Hey, long preface there. So this one is for that frame I showed you in the beginning. It was for the 10-inch TI frame. And I ran out of the spiders, the 3-inch spiders. And so don't ever let that stop you. In fact, sometimes I'll order. I'm very flexible when I order from Lord of Base because he has always such a wide variety. But you got to know what mods to make so that you can order stuff. And, you know, because sometimes he's out. You know, he's not. There's no magic in the world, people. Stop believing in magic. But if you just put this, you want to do this side because it's going to stick to this part, not to this part. And so sometimes you can look at the front, sometimes you can look at the back. I think it was the back that I saw on this one yesterday. And you put the former on there, and you kind of just do your best to center it, and then you can see real close where it needs to cut, which is about halfway down on that ridge. And so I've put back the leads, and so then I'm going to cut right about there, and I'm just going to go all the way around. I can't do it with one hand, so I'm just going to go. So I'm going to pause it here for a second, then do it. All right. Now I'm sure I made that look easy, and I'm sure I made that look pretty precise, but I have lots of practice. You know, just like the first time you finger blasted someone's butthole, it was probably pretty awkward the first time, but after the 10th guy, you know, you're just massaging that prostate up in there, and you know, get them off quick so you can get back to work. So it's a little small, so I'm going to go back and trim it again. So sometimes you can go through the other side just to sort of massage up this middle, goatsy up this middle a little bit, open it up. So I'm just going to open it up just a tiny bit more. And if you go over, it's not that big a deal. You can actually fill in some of the cracks with the black yarn and then just a little bit of super glue. And then that way when we process the backside, when we put the epoxy bond on there, it won't leak through to the top. All right, so when I was using PE Precision Econowine to make these coils, which is who these were made by, and this is a duplicate of the original. I think it was like 1427W or whatever, some sort of part number. This was the original TC Sounds 3 HP coil, which is a 4-layer round aluminum wire. But it's quite popular actually, so I use it in a bunch of stuff, and I had cases of them because I think they made a version for me that was slightly slimmer, and they like misconstrued my instructions, and they were just like, fuck it, keep them. I'm like, okay. Well, at the time I was doing like probably 1,000 a month with them, 2,000 a month with them, so not doing those numbers anymore. So, but that's one of the reasons why I don't use them anymore. They got expensive, and they just outsourced to China anyway. So there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Now on the 10, see, there you go. A little bit of daylight. You can see it. You see it? The camera's not picking it up. Here we go. That's the other one I do, is I hold it up to the light. So right there. You see a little bit of daylight? Well, CA will cover that. So here we go. That's a better shot right there. You can see the gap there. And then you can also do the bottom. So this is where the little reservoir is going to be full of epoxy. So, but on the top side, I'll just cover that with a little bit of yarn and some CA. So, but on the 10-inch TI, sometimes I'll even cut this little flange off, because when you look at the TI frame, there's this gap in where that bridges, and there's nothing there. There's nothing there to glue to. And also you want to use tabs, what is it, solder tabs, terminals, whatever you want to call them. They come up a little taller so that you can terminate a little easier. So, but this is, there we go. So dual 2 quad stack. I already have the other one, I think, built, but sometimes when I make a custom woofer, I always make 2. I try to make 2. First of all, as a backup in case the first one fails, because they do fail sometimes. The other reason is that by hedging my bets, if they both turn out, then I win double. So, and that's the kind of gambling I like to do. My father was a gambler, but He would like gamble away my college fund. I don't think that's the best gamble. So, you know, I'd rather gamble on this. You know, you buy this coil. I think original cost on this was probably about $13 to $15. And then, you know, I can still sell it for $45 to $50 retail. And that's a pretty good bet, you know. Now, you do have to buy 100 of them or whatever it was, the minimum order quantity. So it ends up, you know, being a lot really quick. So you, again, you have to be balls deep into that AIDS butthole, or pussy, whatever you want, AIDS butthole, in order for as far as level of commitment to get those kind of price breaks. So, but I think I wanted to show you that. I don't know. That's the thing is to me, I would get bored with some of these videos because it's just woofer stuff. Like, and you know, I have to come out here and deal with this every day. And I used to get really overwhelmed, especially when I first started back in like 03. Like, I'd wake up and I'd have to just deal with, you know, what do I do today? And I've learned, and this is good, I mean, for me and also for life, but I've learned to focus on what's important, what's most important. And that's what I have to do first. And even though everything is a mess, and believe me, I don't like living like this. I don't like working like this, but I don't have room and I don't have time. So I have to manage this in a way that still gets the job done. See? So now that becomes almost an impossible task. And yet here I am doing the impossible. So now I'm a fucking superhero, not a slob. God, you guys are so critical, or at least some guys are critical. Some of these guys, they're like, you need to clean up your shop. I'm like, thanks, come and clean it up. Like, I would fucking love that. But, you know, I start working, and then again, I focus on what's important, which is getting the job done, not necessarily what it looks like. And does anybody care what the woofer looks like at the end? Yes. And that's what I focus on. Does anybody care what it looked like? You know, like, you were born, right? And for me, I told you about this yesterday. I fucking wrecked my mom's vagina coming out, right? Because they didn't have sonograms back then. She didn't know I was going to be a boy, and so it was a mess, right? But I'm not. I still don't look like that. My mom doesn't look like that anymore, right? It's a mess. You clean it up. It's not a big deal. So stop making a big deal about messes, and don't quit putting your OCD on me, fucking weirdos. So, and of course that doesn't apply to everybody, because you're not all fucking weirdos. Some of you guys are just like fans, and that's rad. I'm fine with that. And I do appreciate your feedback, so that I can sort of direct videos. Most of the time though, I get requests for like builds, and it's some sort of exotic woofer as if it's special, and I'm like, nope, it's not special. So, and that's what I'm here to do. I remember my friend Adam, who I befriended years ago, when he came over to buy something from Orion that I had left over from the auction. And he stayed like 2 hours that night talking to me. And he goes, wow, I came in here dreaming about my Orion collection and completing it, and you just stomped all over those dreams. I go, yep, that's what I do. I stomp on your stupid dreams. If your dreams are stupid, I'm going to stomp on them. Oh, man, that's heavy. 5 stack. So, I forgot to zap. I left the fucking magnetizer on all night. That's how it goes. That's how it goes with the hoes in the show. I don't know. That's about it. I just got to get to work. So, but I thought that was entertaining with the life of a famous TikToker, and you know what that entails. You know, fucking making, you know, $1 million a month or whatever it is. You know, because you're cute. That is the weirdest thing. Oh, that's something that came up the other day with my my wife. And it was about alcoholics and just people that are on drugs. And it's not that they're on drugs because they're addicted to drugs. What they're really addicted to is the drama and the excitement of that sort of cycle. And the fact that they can't ever see themselves as the bad guy, even though they're doing bad things. So the example I have is that, like my father-in-law is probably the most rich example of this, in that, he gets praised all the time for his service in the military, right? And being a typical Marine, which is, your job is stopping bullets. And and of course he's got, 3 Purple Hearts, not much else, but, and he has I think I've told you about this before, he has the Purple Heart license plate, right? And then around it, this is hilarious. Around it, there's a little, sometimes dealerships will put this, they're like, oh, so-and-so, whatever, Ford dealership or whatever. So, but his license plate holder, the thing that goes around it, it says, Vietnam, it was always right. And it's like, what the fuck? The Holocaust, it was always awesome. Like, awesome can mean awesome in 2 different ways. Like, I don't like the awesome that you're using that in, but so anyways, back to just maniacs. So my father-in-law never has anybody, what's the word? I don't want to say settle him, but just sort of to give him feedback to keep him in check, to a reality check. That's what it is. So if there's nobody there to give him a reality check, he's just going to go off until something breaks, right? And that's what that's what's the appeal to these young stars, these young people. First of all, they're beautiful. Second of all, when you give them just tons of money, which is just fuel for the fire, they're going to catch fire. You just don't know when, and so that's why you watch. And so, but what really happens is these people get ruined. So in the case of my father-in-law, it's like it's power, right? He gets all this sympathy, and he gets this. Nobody ever tells him he's doing anything wrong, and so he never thinks that he's doing bad. And when he does do bad, right, which is like manipulation, and technically it is abuse. He doesn't see it as abuse, but technically it is abuse, especially to my wife. He used to use her, he liked her a lot because she was, the oldest of the kids, and so that means she was more capable than the other kids. And so when you would tell her to do the dishes or sweep the floor or whatever, she would do a really good job, because she has a lot of experience doing that. And he would have her go get food or whatever, and she would come back, and she was the sweetest thing. Oh my God, when I first met her, like, he would send her to go to Elmer's. Elmer's, by the way, Elmer's Tacos over there on Arizona Avenue and Chandler Boulevard, famous for its bean burritos. Have you ever come through Chandler, get the bean and cheese burrito? It's amazing. It sounds so stupid that something like that would be so good, but it is. It's really, really good. But anyways, he would send her to Elmer's for some strips and salsa, and also for the bean burrito or whatever. And she would come back, and she's like, here's the receipt, Dad. And it was like, whatever, $9 or something like that, $9.29. He would write her a check for $9.29. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, even my dad, who was one of the cheapest pieces of shit on the planet, would give me a $10 or $15 or something like that. Like, here, thanks, son. Or worse, he would gamble it away from me, so that way he didn't owe me anything. But he would just write a check for $9.29 and then like give it to her and like fully expect, and he saw that as her honoring him as her father, and that's respectful and things like that. So when I showed up, I was like, no, motherfucker, that's not going on. And so, and Sherry had felt in her heart that she wanted to be treated better, but in his world, she wasn't allowed to speak up. In fact, one of the things he taught her was don't rock the boat. And you guys been on this channel, you seen me. I'm like, burn that motherfucking boat. Somebody said the other day, they're like, well, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm like, no, you need to punch that baby in the face and then stab it several times. You need to make sure that baby is dead. So, and which it's appropriate sometimes. Yes, I just said it. It's appropriate to kill children sometimes. Um, the problem is that, you know, when the system or the situation is so corrupt and so terrible, yeah, everyone just needs to die. That's the only way to break out of that. And I'm sure that's a good movie for, like, you know, Mad Max, Revenge of the whatever, the Sith or something like that. Back to maniacs. So, you know, he lives his whole life, my father-in-law, being praised for his service and never being challenged and never being told what he's doing is abusive or bad or something like that. So when somebody like me steps up, and I was very polite for many, many years, for probably a good, 15, 20 years, whatever. And he still never accepted me, right? And, you know, always gave me a hard time, always was passive aggressive with me. He would do this, the weirdest things too. And I was pointing this out to my wife last night about, as you know, his name is David. And so he would talk about, you know, King David and about, you know, kissing the ring of King David and always saying yes sir, no sir to King David. And also because he was the oldest child of his family, which is like 6 kids, he'd always say he's number one and things like that. Which, okay, if you're joking and, you know, you're like, haha, I know I'm not really number one, like I'm really a humble person. No. He would mean it. He really meant it. And so it becomes this weird, sick, very cruel, passive aggressive thing of the way that he jokes with people. And in the later years, I finally was like done with that. And when I started getting into comedy, especially, he would tell a bad pun. And of course, Sherry loves puns. And I would be like, yeah, that was a bad joke, David. Don't ever tell that again. And of course, I'm being sarcastic, but he takes it literal, even though I'm like, you know, lighten up, you know, and he refuses to lighten up because that power, that leverage that he has against me. So, and there's also been several things that I've said to him that, of course, he got as a joke, but when he retells it to his wife, all of a sudden I'm wanting to kill him and I want to wish for his death and all this. It's just ridiculous. So, and those people are just ridiculous. And that's why I don't give a shit if they see this video. I don't care if they hear about it because I don't want ever fucking anything to do with them again. I'm not showing up at anybody's fucking funeral. And if I do, I'm going to expose them for the piece of shit that they are, because nobody else will say that. And I swear to baby Jesus, I wish I said that at my sister's funeral. When my sister died of accidental overdose of fucking pills and vodka and weed and all that shit. And yeah, weed with other stuff will kill you. And it did. It killed my sister because you get numb. You can't feel anything. And she just kept drinking and pilling or whatever. And then, you know, fucking she's rotting away for 3 days with her dogs in the apartment. And, you know, they got to push the door open and find her bloated body. It's really gross. I mean, we had to have a closed casket funeral. And I saw with the casket open because they had open casket for my mom and for, you know, like very close family like me. She looked like a weird fucking clown, like that picture of Anna Nicole Smith when she's dressed up like a clown, like right before, like a month before she died or whatever. It was gross. And at the funeral of my sister, nobody said a bad word, and she was a raging fucking cunt. In fact, the last thing I ever said to her was, she's a gangrenous cunt that needed to be put out. And you know, 2 days later, what did she do? She proved me right. So that's how much of a cunt she was. And it's a mistake to not say something at someone's funeral like that. Does it upset everyone? Yes, but it's also the truth. So that was one of the other things that came up about my sister-in-law yesterday was she was the one that she had an opiate problem. And again, it's not opiates, it's self-pity. And she's also been a cute girl, and she's always, you know, that was the other thing I wanted to get onto was about women, especially good-looking women. Is that they end up being these maniac psychos because nobody ever tells them no. And they get virtually everything they want. And I know this firsthand because that's my mother. My mother was, and still is, very beautiful. But she got away with a lot of shit. And there was nobody there to say no to her. And then when she did, she threw such a tantrum. It like, you know, like, she's the kind of person that would set a city on fire because she didn't get her way, you know, or someone was rude to her, you know, because she was being a bitch. So, But these, you know, these are temper tantrums that children have, and then when the children are never corrected, they end up being full-blown adults having, you know, these just ridiculous fits, you know. And I got videos of tons of guys that do this. They burn their fucking woofer, they come in, and then they want a free one from me because they know I'm here and I'm personally responsible, and I show myself to be a personally responsible person. And then they figure, you know, well, I'll put this on YouTube, and there's a history. There's plenty of people that say bad things about me on the internet, which I'm fine with now. I used to let it get to me, but I don't now. And so back to, what's her name? Charlie D'Amore or Amore, whatever her name is. She's a 16-year-old saying that she likes dino nuggets and mac and cheese, which is hilarious. But, oh shit, God damn it, I forgot my fucking point. Oh well, it was a winner. It was a really good point, and you would have been really astounded and been like, Patrick's so rad. He says rad stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I do. That's what I do. But it looks like shit. That's the reality of it. It doesn't look like a fucking lab. It doesn't look all clean and everything like that. I mean, it's not like dirty, even though there's been a moth invasion recently in Arizona, and so I gotta vacuum all these motherfuckers up. So, clogging up my fucking bug, right in the mouth. So, but I think you guys come for the comedy, and I think you guys come for the audio, and sometimes the fart and the vagina jokes. I think you guys like those too. So, selling this one today. What do you know? Now it's a Sundown. It was a Majestic Elite with a 3.5-inch voice coil. But now it's a Sundown SA prototype that I'll sell for $150. So it's great. I love you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please keep the comments and the questions coming. I do my best to answer them. If I can do it in a video, if I feel like it's justified to make a good video, then I will. Because I love you. I love you guys. Thank you very much. Bye.